Yeah, lost my dad to suicide at 17, was lower sixth at school, so halfway through my A-levels. So when you lose someone to suicide, the police turn up at your front door and they're like, oh, I'm really sorry, you've lost X, Y and Z. And then they sort of give you a leaflet and leave. And then a friend of mine who's now one of the trustees was like, why don't you set up a charity? And we were like, why not? It's very close to home with an awful lot of people, and it's showing people and that you can get through it. Like it's not the end, it's not.
Charlie Smith, welcome to the Lifecraft Conversations.
Thank you for having me. So the charity sort of started from me and Chester, who's another one of the trustees. We ran from my dad's old house in Surrey to where his ashes were spread in Somerset, and then cycled back in a week. So we ran 250 kilometres running over 5 days, and then cycled 250 in 2 days. And came up with the idea. I'd done a few stupid endurance, whatever things before, and raised a load of money for Mind. And they hadn't really given us too much. We didn't get sent any kit. We didn't get any acknowledgement of anything that we'd done. And one of my friends who I lived with at uni, a guy called Will Green, who was another one of the trustees, he was like, why don't you set up a charity? I'm like, why not? Can't be that hard. Jesus. There's a lot more that goes into it than you think. But we sort of came up with this idea to do this challenge, and then basically started a charity off the back of that. And then did a few other things and kind of realised that we can't keep doing stupid things each year and asking people to donate to our charity. We need to sort of branch out and get other people to do things. Yeah, so I lost my dad. I was 17, so we lost my dad to
tough age now.
Yeah, lost my dad to suicide at 17, was lower sixth at school, so halfway through my A-levels. Brothers were 15 and 11? Well, 11? Yeah, about 10, 11. Yeah, I mean, an extremely tough, horrible time.
Horrible.
Yeah, and that was 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago. And then, I don't know, as time's passed, we sort of, what we realised is that the way we managed to get through it is the support network we had around us. So like my mum, my family, us three as brothers, all would lean on each other. We're not necessarily knowing that we were, but had that sort of community and that tight bond with family and friends of family and all my dad's friends. That we realised as time passed that not very many people have. A lot of people lose someone and struggle alone, or don't have that community, that family friends, or whatever it is, and people to talk to. And we were like, that's such an important thing, and that's the reason we were able to get through what we got through and be able to so openly talk about it and feel so comfortable in talking about it, is because of how everyone was around us when we went through it.
Yeah.
And as I said, I think that's the reason we managed to be all right with it and be fine with it and start the charity. And so many people don't have that. So that's sort of where the idea came from, is we're like, we want to support all people, young people particularly, that have lost a loved one.
Did you envisage it getting this big?
No, definitely not. I mean, again, not that we didn't think it would get big, but like, it's one of those things you don't really realise what's happening until you sort of take a step back and realise what's happening.
Yeah.
And again, like, doing the double marathon this year, and obviously I do all the training plans for everyone, I run with everyone, I'm doing all that. You kind of get very much caught up in it that you don't then take a step back and think, shit, this is really quite big and like impactful, and people care and people want to be involved. And again, as I said, like Joe and Tom this year was so cool, and loads of the runners from last year just been so involved in it and wanting to be involved in it and wanting to go, what are we doing next year? What's the next event? When's this happening? What's going on with that? And I was just, as I said, you take a step back and you realise that it's a lot bigger than you realise it is, because as I said, you get very caught up in it. Yeah. And it's a lot, but I mean, again, it's very cool. It's very cool.
Did that really big thing?
I've done a few. So during lockdown, I did 359 men a month commit suicide. So I did 359 minutes on an assault bike.
Okay.
This is one where you go with your arms and go with your legs, which is horrendous. That was the sort of first endurance anything I ever did. And
Say that again. 359.
yeah, so just under 6 hours. Which again, it doesn't. Which again, you kind of think of it as just riding a bike, but it's like riding a bike times a million. It's horrendous.
Is that a static bike?
Yeah, it's a static bike, but it's one where you go with your arms as well. So it's an air bike.
Like in the gym?
Yeah. Sat on that for 6 hours, and then I guess sort of caught the bug of wanting to do things I don't enjoy doing.
Didn't you get SRI? Yeah, I bet your arse was really sore.
Yeah. No, it was a sorry state of affairs afterwards.
Did you stop? I mean, you were allowed to stop.
That was straight through. And because it's an air bike as well, you can't. If you go slower, it's harder. If you go faster, it's harder. So you kind of need to find this like happy middle ground with it. But again, it was, as I said, it was one of the first things I did. Hated every second of it, and then kind of realised that I like doing things I don't enjoy doing. Which again is why I started doing this run. So again, as I was saying earlier, doing this run across from Surrey to Somerset, the furthest run I'd ever done before that was 10k, or maybe not even, maybe 11. I don't know, around 10k.
Yeah.
And then decided that I was going to do 250k across 5 days and then cycle back. And again, I didn't even own a bike. So,
are you a trainer? You do
I'm a personal trainer. So again, massively into my fitness. Just never really before that assault bike. Never done anything endurance. It's all sort of high intensity, CrossFit sort of stuff that I've always done.
Yeah.
Which is obviously mentally very hard. Well, physically and mentally very tough, but it's very different to anything endurance.
Yeah.
And then sort of. Well, still do that now, and caught the bug a little bit. As I said, caught the bug a little bit for doing things that are rather uncomfortable. Yeah. And then a friend of mine, who's now one of the trustees, was like, "Why don't you set up a charity?" And we were like, "Why not?" Throw yourself in the deep end and see if you survive. And then set the charity up, and didn't quite realise how much work goes into running a charity.
Go through that conversation you had. Who was your pal?
Will Greenall. So live with him at uni. So again, he's one of the trustees of a charity. Yeah.
He knows. Was that at Oxford Brookes?
Oxford Brookes. Yeah. So live with him at Oxford Brookes along with 6 other blokes. Yeah. 8-man house, which was interesting. No, and he runs an events company just around the corner actually. And he was like, you've got this amazing story. Like you and your brothers all speak about the fact that you lost your dad to suicide. You're very openly comfortable in talking about it. He was like, why have you not got your own charity? Yeah. And we were like, as I said, fuck it, why not?
Why not? Yeah. So what was that? It's all well to say that, but at what point did you kind of go, this is how we do it. This is how you said. I mean, you have to register.
Well, yeah, you got to register. You got to go through all, the forms and application you've got to do. As I'm sure you can imagine, is a lot. Yeah. And again, I think the first time we filled out the form, we were like, sorry, what is this? Sent it back to us, and it was like a school teacher marking you up. Be like, no, you've got to do this a lot better. And then had to go back with another application. I think it was the third application that we eventually, they were like, okay, right, you've now done everything, and everything's in working order, and you can now be a charity.
You got to get a bank account, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got a charity bank account. Again, it makes it a lot easier, but none of us are paid. So we're all trustees, no one gets paid, so it's all kind of off our own back. We've got no overheads because we're a grant giving charity. Yeah. So we essentially put on events, raise money, and then partner with like-minded charities to fund initiatives that they're doing. So we have no financial stress or burden over the charity because, as I said, no one gets paid, there's no overheads, there's no nothing. So it's just as many events as we have the capacity to be able to do and want to do, and then raise as much money through those events as we can. Because there's 6 of us and we've all got full-time jobs. Right. Name the 6. So me, my 2 brothers, Ben and Will Smith, Will Greenall, who's a friend from uni who came up with the idea, Chester, who I ran to Somerset and back with, and then Charlie Steen, who is a very old family friend. Right. Yeah. Did I get it right? Because I've seen your mum talk as well. Yeah. She gives a bit of a speech. Well, she doesn't give a speech until she's had a couple of drinks. Oh. And then she'll grab the microphone and say a speech. Now, my mum's on a few. We've all sort of had to get used to public speaking. It's a weird thing, public speaking. I remember when I was at school, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I used to, and when I went to uni, avoided anything that involved public speaking. I was like, I'm not doing it. And I think I was about 24-ish, I had to do a best man speech at a wedding. And I sort of built up this thing of it being horrendous. I was like, I don't like public speaking, hated public speaking, blah, blah, blah. And then sort of did it and was like, it's not that bad. Yeah. And then I had to do a fair few for the charity and whatever. It's a weird thing. As I said, it's a weird thing doing public speaking, but no, you just got to get used to it. As I always say, throw yourself in the deep end and hopefully you survive.
There's worse things in life.
Exactly. There's way worse things. Way worse things. And again, it's a lot easier that you've got a lot of people that are kind of on your side, want it to go. It's like a best man speech. Everyone wants to laugh. All you're doing is telling funny stories about your best friend. Same thing with doing all the public speaking for the charity. You're kind of just telling stories, communicating what the charity are doing, what everyone's done, saying well done, saying thank you.
Yeah. I think that's really a good bit of wisdom there, that your audience usually, as long as it's not political or something, your audience wants you to win. They don't want you to go.
They don't want you. No one's sitting there. Again, maybe at work it might be a bit different, but no one sits there and wants you to fail. No one sits there and wants you to do a really bad speech. Yeah. Everyone wants you to be good and wants you to do. But it's funny because I'm always stuck. I kind of like nominate myself to do all the thank yous, and I don't think I've ever done. I don't think I've ever not forgotten someone. I always forget to say thank you to someone or forget to mention someone or whatever. I love sport growing up. I spent all my weekends all doing sport, and I think when I lost my dad, I think it was kind of my like own sort of therapy as such, kind of like pushing myself physically, doing exercising was kind of my like sort of release from the stresses of everything that I was going through, and then just sort of became my job, became my career, became my sort of life, I guess.
Yeah. So that's your full time. Is that your full time?
Yeah, personal training full time. So do a lot of face-to-face, online coaching, and personal training. So I've done that for 8 years. Yeah, 8 years, 8 years.
Is that just you? Is that your own personal?
It's my own company. It's me by myself. Yeah. And again, I'm sure all the other trustees and my brothers will realise that I'm used to just working by myself. And when it comes to working as a team and discussing decisions and going through things, I can be quite difficult.
Yes. There's a film company that do a lot of great films with you as well.
Yeah, so Flume Creative. So a guy called two guys, Finn and Harvey. So Chester, one of the trustees, ex-girlfriend's friend is Finn. And basically when we did the run to Somerset, they were like, they're kind of starting out, they'd love to get involved, they can film your run for like a discounted rate or whatever. Yeah. And basically just became really good friends with them. Yeah. They did the first filming and they sort of filmed everything since. So Finn did the double marathon this year. So then my brother had to do the filming for it, well, both my brothers. Just two great people that again have got really stuck in and involved with the charity, want to get involved in everything. As I said, Finn did the run this year. Yeah. They filmed everything that we've done and just been involved from the start and sort of come along the journey with us. And again, a cool thing of the charity is they love to be involved and they like to do everything that we're doing. And beautifully done. Yes, they do it really well. Honestly, it's really cool. I've got the most uncreative mind going. It's very black and white with me, and they sort of make these films and make them look amazing. And my brother does the same thing, and I'm just like, it makes no sense to me. Yeah, I don't. As I said, it doesn't compute in my head. Was your brother one of the ones on the bike, on the support bike? Yes. So I was like, I guess, head of support cycling, and then we had a load of cyclists helping all the other people, and then my two brothers did the filming, or sort of orchestrated the filming side of it. So that, again, they were on bikes and cycling between the people. But yeah. Because I thought those guys were heroic as well. Unsung heroes. A guy called Will Moore, who did it again, cycle with us first year, was heading up the site. He's the biggest legend in the world. He sort of plods along with anyone. He cycles as fast or as slow as the slowest person's going, and we'll just get them through it. I thought that was amazing. It's amazing. Again, I think he goes around on his road bike. I'm like, mate, why don't you? It's an off-road up the Thames path. Surely get a better bike. Poor bloke's arse must be in pieces. But no, again, been involved from the start. Absolutely loves it each year. Blocks that weekend out to come and support the Double Marathon. Just wants to be involved as much as possible. Yeah. And again, really cool. And once you take a step back, as I said at the start, you sort of realise how big and engaging everything is that we're doing, because people want to do it every year.
Yeah. When you saw the first Hunchman's Double Marathon,
Yeah,
you'd already done some Hunchman's events.
so that was the first. That was the first event that we got other people to do. As I said before that, it was always me or Chester or a few other people did it, but like doing particular individual events that would then raise money. And as I said, we realised that we can't keep doing stupid things each year and asking people to donate, because you need to branch out to other people.
Yeah.
And as I say, came up with the idea of this two marathons across 2 days. And I think first year, as I said, first year we had 20, I think it's 25 or maybe even 26 runners do it. And I think only 3 of them had run a marathon before.
Right. Yeah.
And this year we have 58, and I think only 11 of them had run a marathon before. So they really threw themselves in the deep end.
Do you get people coming to you who've had similar situations?
Yeah.
And
it's amazing what you don't know about people. Like, again, this community that we sort of built is a very comfortable, openly spoken about thing.
Yeah.
That you realise how many people are going through stuff, how many people are struggling, how many people are struggling themselves, have lost someone, or is directly impacted through suicide. And as I said, that like sort of community and openly spoken about space makes you really realise, again, like it's, I don't know, I've got so many friends that it's like surface level friends that you go to the pub with and whatever, and you never really talk about anything bar the football results.
Sure.
Whereas this sort of community is a lot more, it's a lot more of a free speaking, open space where everyone sort of feels comfortable to express how they feel and talk about things.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to have tragedy later in life, but to get a tragedy at a kind of adolescent age is a real tough.
I mean, and again, it's never a good time. Never a good time. There are pros and cons to any age that you lose someone. And again, it obviously wasn't a great age, but as I always say, you kind of dealt your cards. You got to learn to deal with them, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, really. And I think I have a very different outlook on life because of what I went through, and I would never wish that upon anyone. But I would be a completely different person if I hadn't gone through it. I would be probably doing something completely different to what I'm doing now, and again, wouldn't have a charity and wouldn't have all these different things. So there are positives and negatives to anything, that any tragedy and loss that you go through. Yeah. As you said, it's a taboo subject. There's a lot of things that are taboo, and they shouldn't be. There's no reason for them to be. It's
a tragedy that a lot of people, well, as you said, an amazing number of people have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Did you all react in different ways?
Me and my brothers are all very different. We're all very different. I think Ben, my middle brother's very structured and has a plan and likes to do things in his regimented way, which is amazing. And then me and Will are a bit sort of all over the place. Ben would have definitely wrote down how he was feeling on every particular day and did this, and me and Will are like, oh no, it's fine, whatever, just get on with it. So again, we have very differing responses to it. Yeah. And
you would have been called upon to support your mum as well.
Yes. Well, yes. I think my mum did a lot more supporting of us than we did supporting of her. I think as a 17-year-old, I was a bit of a nightmare, really, I think.
Yeah. So. Do you get complete strangers contacting the charity?
Yeah, so we had, again, a lot of the runners this year were, I mean, maybe not complete strangers, but sort of friends of friends, or people have heard about the charity through X, Y, and Z, applying to do the double marathon and getting involved and wanting to be involved. So, which is we did an application process for the double marathon this year, not actually really expecting people to properly apply, and people like sent in these emails basically like, oh, this is my story, please can I have a place? And I was like, of course you can.
Wow.
you don't need to you don't sell it to me. I want you to. Yeah, we put application, but it was more like just come and do the run.
So that's really interesting. You had people who were telling you their own personal...
telling us their own personal story, and as I said, sort of almost selling to us why they should have a place. And I was like, oh, honestly, you're absolutely fine. Just send me your name and number and you're in.
Yeah, but...
And again, it was that real, like, again, when you take a step back and you look at what you read these emails and all these, like, we did like a player profile for every runner, and reading through some of those was so emotional. Like, it was really quite, again, sort of a wow, like, again, everything's getting better. There's still a hell of a long way to go, but it's a much more openly spoken about thing, which I think's amazing. Like, as I said at the start, the more people talk about it, the better the world's going to be for it.
And it's a hugely difficult thing to understand, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't. Everyone's mental health is completely different to another person's mental health. It's not like, oh yeah, you're going through this, so therefore feel like this. Again, I have it with, again, speaking to people that have lost someone to suicide. You'll be like this. You'll go all over the place. There's no right or wrong way to feel. You'll be angry. You'll be upset. You'll be happy. You'll laugh. Whatever. You'll go through all these array of different emotions. And all I always say to people is, don't fight them. You've got to ride the wave of whatever you're feeling. And there's no right or wrong way to do anything. There's no right or wrong way to deal with what you're going through.
No. A lot of people have to deal with the guilt and the blame, and they beat themselves up.
Yeah. Again, this is where talking to people and seeking perfection, because again, like I've spoken a lot about the community aspect and people speaking and talking about their stories, but fundamentally, if you're struggling that much, you need to like have professional help, because again, I can talk about it for hours on end and very openly have a conversation with anyone, but I'm not professional in it. So
no.
And when it comes to the complexities of it, it does need to be spoken about properly with a professional. So many people live in their own head about things and like build things up, and again, you kind of ruminate things in your head, and you can sort of spiral as such. And speaking to someone and communicating it and getting it out is like a weight lifted off your shoulders.
One of the things that you talk about a lot is not leaving. I think the metaphor of not leaving people behind is brilliant. Because it's like the race and
that's the thing with the double marathon is no one's left behind. Everyone's got to, again, you're sort of going through the same struggles and pain together. Just hopefully at different points or at different levels, and someone else can drag you through. Again, so Joe Madden, he was when on the second day of the double marathon first year, he was in a world of pain, and my brother was just sat there and cycled next to him. He got to, we have aid stations every 10k, got to an aid station, got strapped up, and suddenly he was flying again. He's just been dramatic. Just wanted a bit of attention.
Of course he did.
He was just upset his brother was beating him by so far.
Definitely.
But as probably the only running race you'll do where you'll do better coming last than you'll do coming first, because there will be a hell of a lot more people cheering you for the end, and they'll have had a fair few more drinks if you come last, and if you come first there might not be very many people there yet.
The way in which people were finishing, they were all hugging together, and they were all getting over the line.
It's emotional. I tell you, like I kind of feel like I've got 56 kids this year and watching them all finish, and like again, them sort of realising what they can do, what their body can do when they push themselves, what their limit actually is, and that you can do way more than you think you can do. Watching people finish, I was emotional. Again, like the two double marathons that we've done this year, of which I've done no running, have been way more emotional than any, and way more emotional and sort of satisfying than any run and challenge I've done myself. Because I said, I feel like I've got 50, I feel like I've got about 70 odd kids. Again, I'm not a massive crier. I probably spent since my dad passed away, probably about 10 years of not crying. And then since we started the charity, I feel like I'm crying every weekend. Watching them do the run, watching them achieve these amazing things. I'm an emotional mess.
What's your plan for it?
Well, we wanted to keep growing year on year. We're going to do more and more events. Again, because, as I said, no one gets paid. We're a grant-giving charity, so we have no financial stresses. A big thing we want to do is it's not all just fundraising. It's building a community, having fun. So again, we did like this charity cricket day. We're going to do some five-a-side football tournaments, all these sort of things, golf days that aren't how much money can you raise. It's about a bunch of mates and a community getting together and doing fun things. And then again, as it grows through that, then we have our main flagship event, which is our double marathon, that we hopefully get more and more people doing it each year, because we raised £35,000 first year, and then we raised £136,000 this year. So we raised £100,000 more. So hopefully we can raise £236,000 next year.
Yeah. Well, the thing I thought was interesting about it is it's a brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a brand.
Well, this is the thing, I think. So we've done a lot of work with a charity called Suicide & Co, and they very much have like a business brain on a charity. I think a lot of charities are sort of, well, they're charities, what you would assume is a charity, rather than run as a business that have a brand, that have an image, that have a wanting to be associated with it because it's a cool thing to do. Like, again, like everyone that's done the run becomes a hunchman, and then they all get numbered. And again, I thought it was a really cool thing this year. Everyone would afterwards be like, I'm hunchman number 44 and blah, 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 and stating their number. And again, it's that community, it's that brand, it's that community that you want to be involved in. That's a cool aspect of it. And then it's a load of mates doing some extreme shit to go and raise some money for charity, and it's the fun aspect of it, rather than it's, I don't know, yeah, it's just like that brand image, that sort of, as I said, the fun aspect of it.
I love that idea. I love the idea that you've got a number for life. Yeah. It's like sports teams do that.
Yeah,
don't
they? It's so funny.
A legacy number.
Yeah, afterwards they'd also sort of in the weeks coming be like, I'm hunchman number 51 and necking a beer. And I'm like, that's just cool. It's just...
Yeah, one day you'll have a hunchman number 1 million.
I said, I'm hunchman number 1, and we kind of missed it with it, that my dad should have really been hunchman number 1.
That would have been clever. Yeah.
It would have been much clever. But then we numbered me as 1, and then everyone else we can't move everyone back a space. Definitely, like, again, I think a massive aspect of my life's always been sport. My dad used to take me to play football, to play rugby, to do all these things. So I think it's very much probably one of the reasons I got into personal training. Again, it was a sort of mental release and a mental thing, but it was...
Was he a sporty person?
He wasn't particularly good at any sport, but he loved sport. he hated running. God knows why people started doing this running thing. I think he used to run a 5k around the park every now and again, but nothing on the... As me and Ben always say, Ben and Will always say, he'd be looking down at me like, what the fuck are you all doing? Just go for a little jog. Don't need to run too much.
Yeah, 100 miles.
But no, as I said, sort of sport and all that sort of plays a massive role in my life and everything I do, and that's sort of ingrained in my memory of my dad is sport.
Yeah. Wow. I think you've done, you are... it's a word that we overuse, but I think he would be proud of you, and you should be proud of yourselves. That's staggering what you've done.
As I said, I always say cool, and it's the most uncool thing to say cool, but it is really, as I said, you take a step back and you sort of go, wow.
Yeah.
And I think we all sort of bring a different skill set to it. Like my brother's so organised and is so good with all the charity meetings, and been like, this is the structure for this meeting. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, which is a set of skills that me and Will do not have at all. So again, we all sort of play off each other quite well, and it all works very well. I
don't know. I think you're underplaying yourselves. I think
as I said, I'm not a massive talker. It's not necessarily talking. It's being comfortable in being able to talk if you feel like you need to talk, because it's as you've said, it's a very it's not so much anymore, but it's a big taboo subject that people don't like to talk about, and it's sort of creating that open space where people feel comfortable in doing whatever they want to do within it. And you realise other people struggle, you realise other people have gone through depression, and you realise other people struggle with anxiety, and you realise all these different things that you wouldn't have necessarily realised about other people, which is why I go on all the time about talking, is because you realise that so many people are going through the same thing you're going through.
Yeah.
And again, that's the aspect of the run, which I think is so cool, is that you've got a load of people that don't run, that are trying to do something so extreme.
Yes.
And you're all in it together. You're all a big team. You're all sitting there fundraising together. You're all running together. You're all sacrificing your weekends. You're all doing this together as a team rather than as an individual doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Isn't there like is there like a Bordeaux marathon or something that you have a glass of wine every kilometre or something? You run from vineyard to vineyard, something along those lines.
I know you have the final mile, don't you?
Beer mile. We have a beer mile.
A beer mile.
Well, it was a beer and margarita mile this year.
Was it really? Yeah.
Well, it's again another cool. So we had one girl do it first year, And then we had 12 or 13 do it this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, first year 1 and then 12 or 13 do it this year, which again is really cool. So we decided we'd get some margaritas because a lot of girls don't like beer.
Yeah.
But no, again, the last mile, so 1.6k, someone's there with a big beer mile sign, you get handed a beer and you can neck your beer, you can run with the beer, you can walk with your beer. That last mile's fun.
Yeah, it's weird because looking on it from outside, you do envy people. I envy people part of it because that's such a camaraderie and the whole thing is so fantastic. You said you need a community around you. There are people who are very lonely and don't have any of that. Yeah, well, that's the reason that we started the charity. It's pushing people into the right. So again, so with Suicide & Co, we've our last grant to them, it's a first responders app. So when you lose someone to suicide, the police turn up at your front door and be like, oh, I'm really sorry, you've lost X, Y, and Z. And then they sort of give you a leaflet and leave. Whereas what we want to do with this app that we've developed is download this app, and then within the app you can then sign up to it. You put, I lost my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister, my auntie, my friend, or whatever, 2 days ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, and it sort of signposts you into the right places, and again puts you in contact with therapists. There's breath work, there's meditation, there's all sorts of things, sleep stuff that you can do within the app. It's like a mental health app as such, so that people who are lonely and don't necessarily have someone else to talk to, they can almost talk to your app. You can journal within it. Yeah. Again, that's something I'm sure my brother would have done it. It's something I wish I sort of done. Sure. It's sort of, I don't know, sort of be able to look back on how I felt, because as I said, I'm quite good at blocking things out. Yeah. So again, as you said, like, when was tough? I can't really answer that question. If I had this app, I could go, oh yeah, well, on X, Y, and Z on this day, I actually felt terrible, or whatever. But you have those reference points, and then you can see progression within it. Because I think, again, a massive thing about what I do as a job is it's about progression. It's about getting better. It's about improving. And say you're upset, but you can look back and go, oh, it was so much worse X, Y, and Z 2, 3, 4 years ago. Yeah. Again, it's that progress, it's that feeling better. And then, as I said, as you said, people that are lonely and don't necessarily have one, sort of have an app, something that's so accessible on their phone to deal with things. Yeah. What are you trying to do here? We want to put, again, a bit sort of cliche, we want to put the fun in fundraising. So we want to make it a fun, enjoyable community team effort into doing things hard together. You push yourself physically, it will help you mentally. Again, you'll have bonds with people. People are now like best mates. Again, I didn't know Jack Madden before the double marathon. He didn't know, there's a group of us that we've all got a WhatsApp group we speak on every day. We didn't know each other before, or obviously Joe and Jack knew each other. We're all off to Australia next year for his wedding. Yeah. I met him a year ago doing this run. Again, it's that you bond with people on like a completely different level when you do hard things together. Again, as I said, there's so many people that have surface level friends that you go to the pub with, of which I have, and you don't delve much deeper. Go for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hour run with them, and suddenly you really find out things about people, and you bond over completely different things, and you have that real friendship and community and involvement in what's going on. And it's cool, as I said, there's a group of us off to Australia, and we met a year ago to go to Jack's wedding, which again is so cool. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And it's very interesting. The first thing you said there, the trigger for this was a terrible tragedy, and that when I asked you, the first thing you said was, "It's fun." Yeah, it's fun. Everything wants to be, I want to live my life having fun. I want people to have fun. I want people, don't get me wrong, you want to do hard things, but then there's that fun aspect of it. Again, there are aid stations every 10k, there's music playing, there's physios, there's sweets, there's everything. It's a fun aspect of it, rather than, which I think a lot of charities do. It's very doom and gloom. It's X amount of people have died, X amount of this is terrible, this is kind of trying to make it a more fun, spoken about thing, rather than everything's negative and hard and everyone feels really down. It's sort of, again, creating a space where people feel comfortable to talk about it, and a community of people that
are like-minded and want to do hard things and enjoy themselves.
Yeah. Well, Charlie Smith, I think your dad would be proud of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think you think we've all lost the plot.